The 2026 NBA Draft Sweepstakes are panning out to be one of the craziest in years. And it's largely because around 10 teams are tanking, intentionally or not, to nab a top spot in the NBA Draft Lottery. Let's talk about it. Over the past few decades, we've seen multiple teams tank for better odds in the draft lottery. And what we mean by tanking is intentionally losing games to secure a higher draft pick in the upcoming draft. The worse the record, the better the chances. Look at the Philadelphia 76ers in the mid-2010s, for example. General manager Sam Hinkie comes out and says, we are intentionally tanking to get better picks. Insert guys like third overall pick Joel Embiid and first overall pick Ben Simmons. Or you can even look to the Houston Rockets in 1984 for Hakeem Olajuwon, and even the Celtics and Spurs in 1997 fighting for Tim Duncan. The list goes on and on. But this year is a lot different. It's not just 2 or 3 teams fighting for a top spot. It's more like 10. Granted, this draft class is speculated to be one of the best in years because of the star college freshmen that are dominating the hoop scene. Kansas' Darren Peterson, BYU's AJ DeBonsa, and Duke's Cameron Boozer are headliners, but as we trek deeper into the season, more names are rising that are piquing multiple NBA teams' interests. Shoot, Arkansas's Darius Acuff Jr. nearly dropped a 50 ball a few weeks ago. So what team wouldn't want a chance at drafting a star, right? But the problem is the way they're going about it. And since NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said anti-tanking policies won't go into effect until next season, these problems will continue. So here's every team in the projected top 10's approach to bettering their chances at a high draft pick according to the NBA standings on February 22nd. The Milwaukee Bucks are at 10 and are just getting back star Giannis Antetokounmpo after missing weeks due to a right calf strain. They were treading water, staying around 500 with him out, but the season's direction will go wherever Giannis takes it. And with all the rumors of him leaving, a top pick could be enough to keep him. The Chicago Bulls are at 9, and after the trade deadline, they look like they're in full rebuild mode, trading away 3 of their 4 top scorers for second-round draft capital and a bunch of guards. A top pick will give them the direction they need. The Memphis Grizzlies coming at 8. They traded away 2-time All-Star and former Defensive Player of the Year Jaren Jackson Jr. for a multitude of first-round picks, and Ja Morant is still out due to injury. They now have the most first-round picks in the league, so the higher the draft pick, the better. The Dallas Mavericks are at 7. They traded Anthony Davis to Washington and shut down Kyrie Irving for the rest of the season. Those 2 decisions made it clear that they are building around Cooper Flagg, and a great young rookie will be the first step to that. Okay, this is where things start to get a little fuzzy. Outside of the number 1 pick, there's not much separation between the next few teams in terms of records. The Utah Jazz are at number 6, and they're an interesting one. Their pick is protected, so if it's the 9th overall pick or worse, Cleveland gets it. So, of course, they're going to want to lose more games so they can keep their pick. And they were doing just that, sitting guys like Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the 4th quarter to lose and help their odds. They were eventually fine for this, but with the announcement of Jackson being out for the remainder of the season due to a knee injury, winning still will be hard to come by. Okay, let's go to the top 5. Washington now has Davis and traded for Trae Young, but both have been sidelined for months with injuries while Young just came back last week. And with the Wizards' lackluster record, why wouldn't they want their stars to take their time getting back if it meant they get a top 3 pick in the draft? At 4 and 3 are the Brooklyn Nets and Atlanta Hawks respectively. The Hawks pick here in place of the New Orleans Pelicans, who traded them the pick on last year's draft night for rookie Derek Queen. Both the Nets and Pelicans are 2 young teams, poorly constructed rosters, making winning tough to come by whether their best players are playing or not. And at number 2 is the Indiana Pacers, who have struggled without Tyrese Halliburton, who tore his right Achilles in the NBA Finals last year. Similar to the Jazz, they were fine for sitting players intentionally and have a protected first-round pick. But this one is even more heavily protected. It must land in the top 4 for them to keep the pick. So the incentive for them to lose is pretty high. And now for the Sacramento Kings, sitting at number 1 by a wide margin. They've recently announced Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, and DeAndre Hunter are out for the rest of the season with injuries. And although they just traded for Hunter, if they were this bad with Sabonis and LaVine in the lineup, why would one expect them to start winning now? So to summarize, all 10 teams have gotten worse after the trade deadline and All-Star break, whether it's due to injuries, trades, sitting players intentionally, or just not having a competitive roster, making it even more difficult to tell where each team will end up in the draft odds. And with a strong draft class approaching, expect the battle for a top pick to be a bloodbath. If you want more hoops content, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments on who you think will win the draft lottery. If you want more hoops content, make sure to like, follow, and share your thoughts in the comments on who you think will win the draft lottery.